great family business, Woodman's of Essex, and we have Maureen Woodman and Steve Woodman. Welcome back.
Hi Jeffrey, thank you for having us today. We're glad to be here.
We're glad to be here. And you brought some important business and product introductions with you, didn't you?
Yeah, what we brought today are two of our new products that we're showcasing. One is homemade whoopie pies, and the other one is homemade potato chips. Again, if you know that famous story, which I'm sure Stevie will be glad to tell you, our roots started with potato chips. So we are going back to our roots.
Stevie, do you want to tell us that story?
Sure, that's a story that started back in 1914 with my grandfather starting the business. And one of the first things he did, besides selling clams on the side of the street, was he brought in a fryer later and started making homemade potato chips.
Yum.
He figured that'd be a way to get people to come into the store and buy some of the clams and other things that he was selling there. So that was going on for a couple of years, and then a friend of his decided, well, not decided, but he said Chubby, because that was his nickname, because my grandfather had a big barrel chest and eventually his stomach grew into it. So he said, Chubby, he said, if you take some of those clams that you're selling and fry them up like you do the potato chips, he said, I bet you people would buy them. Well, back then, clams weren't a popular item, weren't a popular food. And making them in a different way, he really didn't think they'd sell anymore, but they started thinking about it. So my grandfather, grandma got together and they said, yeah, let's try it. And that
What
was,
year would you think that was around?
that was, the fried clam was in July 3rd, 1916.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and so on July 3rd, 1916, they developed the fried clam. They put a sign out, Essex fried clams, and there was a little parade in town that day for the 4th of July. And he sold fried clams. He took in $35, and that was the most money I'd ever taken in any single day, so he decided to keep them on the menu.
Now, he wasn't making whoopie pies in his fryer later, so what's the story behind that?
Well, go ahead, Maureen.
I think the whoopie pies, one of the things we're doing for our 100th anniversary, which we can get into that, is we're having a family cookbook. So we started this 2.5 years ago. We're 75 days away today from our 100th anniversary, 1914. Woodman's in 2 centuries, actually, if you can believe it. We're pretty excited about that. And when we started to do the cookbook, Stevie's wife Rhonda's in charge of this project, we really saw that Bessie, who was Chubby's wife, had all kinds of baked goods. One of the things that's actually going to be featured is a lemon pie, which is going to be one of the first recipes in the cookbook.
I want one.
Yeah. So going into that, so the cookbook is going to be this huge marketing piece we're doing, which is 5 generations, 100 recipes. Not a traditional cookbook at all. There's going to be a lot of history, a lot of stories, a lot of family pictures, a lot about employees over the years, all the people that have really, really helped get us to where we are today.